Good morning, campers. My name is Paul Hughes. I am the Lord of Leisure, and I am very, very tired. And my mouth tastes like purple. God, I need a tea. It's way too early for this. Oh dear. Welcome to another Aftermath video, which is possibly going to be the shortest Aftermath video ever done, which is amazing for me considering how much I tend to waffle. But it is just after 7 a.m. Recording this after watching Avengers Endgame at a midnight screening at the local Cinematic Emporium. The place was absolutely heaving. And I genuinely mean that. I even posted a little bit on Instagram just to show exactly the volume of people. The queue was unbelievable. So, just based on that little snippet and all the hype and everything else, it's fair to say that Disney and Marvel are going to make a poop ton of money out of Avengers Endgame, which is now finally released and is it's the long-awaited, year-long-awaited follow-up to the events of Avengers Infinity War, which was phenomenal in of itself. And the biggest question that people are going to have on the internet at this point, without going into any spoilers or anything else, is it any good? The answer is yes, it is very good. And the 3 hours were more than justified in the runtime of this. It actually still, despite everything else, it did take some pretty big risks with the story and plot and everything else, just to say, considering the events of Infinity War and how they choose to deal with the aftermath, that was very thoughtful and surprising. And I pretty much appreciate it. Do I think though Avengers Endgame is as good or better than Infinity War? It's as good as Infinity War, but overall I prefer Infinity War. It obviously had a different type of pacing, and it was a different type of build up and so forth. So this film at times was slower. But none of it felt to me like it was outstaying its welcome. And don't get me wrong, no matter who you are going to get a ton out of this. You really will. It was great that they decided on this length of runtime. It had so much to put in essence. And I think that the perfect way to describe this is a sheer volume of fan service and a love letter to the past 20 odd Marvel films that have allowed everyone to come to this point. Because I tell you what, if you paid attention to all the films, you get such a reward on this. I mean, there is the callbacks, the volume of callbacks, with the memory and everything else in the head. It's you are justly rewarded. It is. The fan service is unbelievable, absolutely. And I will say at times, if you hadn't been paying attention and really keeping your eye on things, there is definitely the opportunity for this to feel like a cluster poop. But honestly, Avengers Endgame was very much a very satisfying conclusion. It does get a bit out there, and there are definitely some WTF moments in this. Don't get me wrong. I also feel like, in a strange sort of way, this might have done without the release of Captain Marvel, because I don't know if it was needed or otherwise at this point. Again, it's sort of still early days, being all this coming to my head, and trying to explain any of this as well without going into the plot or otherwise. That would be an issue. But suffice to say, for everyone who has watched all the films, you know, been such a fan, seen everything, you know, watched over and over and over again, and just got hyped to this point, you're not going to be disappointed by any stretch of the imagination. The Russo brothers, the cast, the huge cast, which is astonishing in and of itself, and the crew, and yeah, the special effects artists, everyone. Round of applause, absolutely, and it got a round of applause, by the way, at the end, as well. So it's not even a question of would I recommend Avengers Endgame. Just go and watch it. You know, if you've been watching all the Marvel Cinematic films to this point, of course you're going to watch it anyway, because you want the conclusion to all sorts of questions that have been left as to how things were going to go forward and so forth. And there's plenty of setup for all sorts of situations, and it's just go and watch it. I dare say there'll be a couple of people disappointed with what they do in this, because there is obviously a huge smell of Deus Ex Machina. But it's how they use it. It's pretty good, definitely entertaining. There are definitely nerd tears to come from Avengers Endgame as well. So that's all I'm going to say on it, campers. That's it. Avengers Endgame, just go and watch it, and I'm going to attempt to wake myself up a bit more by drinking more tea. Until next time, campers, I've been the Lord of Leisure. I really wish I had taken the day off at this point to get sleep. And until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. I would go extravagant bye, but I'm really not going to do that because it's too early. Bye.